Hello, everybody, and welcome to the October 27th Trips and Traps. I'm Andy Serling, joined by Eric Donovan.
We have 6 races to bring you all together, 2 separate segments. Let's get things started from past Wednesday, October 20th. We're looking at race number 2. A few horses that get left toward the back of the pack at the start. Raymond, Unique Tune, and Joshua Reynolds.
Yeah, Joshua Reynolds would be the only one that I would want out of this race. The other ones have just had too many chances for me. They all get jammed up early in the race and sort of end up all the way in the back of the pack, actually, back there. As you can see them, there they are again. And Joshua Reynolds, to me, is the one that ran the best race, obviously finishing second. I know Unique Tune picked up the end. Raymond has more trouble. He's never going to win a race.
Yeah, Raymond's a tough horse to like going forward. I've tried him on a couple of occasions. Just seems like the best he's going to do is run third or fourth around at a super at a big price. Does spend most of the backstretch run steadying in traffic beneath the apprentice jockey. But the way the race sets up here, you're looking for horses to kind of come from mid-pack, and the horses that are toward the back of the pack here, are the ones that are kind of up against it.
Yeah, I guess they are. Though a couple of them ended up running pretty well. So I'm not really sure. I thought Joshua Reynolds did well. Raymond is a better horse. He looks at the PPs, and you've been on him, and he's overperformed based on his odds on a number of occasions. One of the problems that Raymond has is they continue to use 7-pound apprentices on him in turf races, and that's just not a recipe for ever winning.
Right.
Not trying to be too overly critical of these riders, and you can see. I mean, Raymond he's just spent the entire trip being in places he doesn't belong. A journeyman rider wouldn't have gone in there. They're not experienced in turf races, these riders, so they end up getting in trouble. And they're still all the way in the back of the pack, these horses. Eventually, Joshua Reynolds, who's actually, he's there too. I mean, he's moving up outside. He makes the big wide run. Raymond sits in the back.
Yeah, Joshua Reynolds makes the first run here at, while Unique Tune and Raymond are sitting toward the back of the pack. And I think this is why, of the 3 horses that we're showing, you're going to have to like Joshua Reynolds a little bit more than the other 2, or maybe significantly more than the other 2.
Yeah, well, he's also wider. I mean, you've got Unique Tune moving in the 2 to 3 path. You've got him all the way on the outside. Raymond's back here on his Magical Mystery Tour, the turf course. Joshua Reynolds should have won this race. There's no question about it. The winner of this race was a heavy favorite for Chad Brown. A lot of Chad Brown in today's Trips and Traps, as a matter of fact. I guess, Joshua Reynolds will be a short price at Aqueduct to win his next start. Raymond, with the right kind of ride, probably always could sneak in the try. Unique Tune, is he over 17, 18, 23? Where is he now?
Had a lot of chances. Somewhere in that range right there. And, another horse that I think if you're getting fair odds on him, maybe you look to plug him underneath in some exotics, but a tough horse to like on top.
Yeah, he won't be on my tickets. Joshua Reynolds is going to win his next start in all likelihood. Raymond, maybe we can sneak him in somewhere.
All right, we'll move on to our second race here in the first segment. We'll go to race 7 from Wednesday. A couple of 2-year-old fillies. We're looking at the 3 scenario analysis, the 7 Miss Dora.
Yeah, this is a race that's won from behind, because you'll see as we roll it that there's a very substantial pace battle up front. And the winner of the race was a Chad Brown horse that had run twice. This horse, Scenario Analysis, is a first-time star from Chad Brown. This is Miss Dora, who was trying the turf for the first time. My feeling is that Scenario Analysis, now this is a sprint, no more turf sprints when we go to Aqueduct. Expect this horse to stretch out. I think this horse, Scenario Analysis, will do well. I look forward to betting against Miss Dora, who could not have had a better trip.
Sits right behind that 4-way pace battle there, Miss Dora does, while Scenario Analysis up in between horses doing some dirty work in here. And you look at the chart of the race, the first 4 finishers, they were running 8th, 5th, 2nd, and 6th early on. So Miss Dora was the only one of these 4 horses up front near the pace to really survive this pace.
Scenario Analysis is the only
Scenario,
one.
I'm sorry,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. And Miss Dora, as you can see, I mean, this is a great ride by Cornelio Velasquez here, but it was the trip that got it done.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the one Cedar Grove, who's just outside of Miss Dora right now, tipping out beneath jockey Ramon Dominguez, who's going to come up along late and get the victory here. But we'll see. Scenario Analysis fight hard down to the wire.
Yeah, if anything, I mean, you could say that Ramon, who rode the winner, Cedar Grove, this was just sort of rolled by the field, a wide move. Miss Dora, I mean, you see her even now, and she splits horses. Scenario Analysis, this horse just never gives up here, and all the other speeds are quitting. I thought this was a very nice effort first time out by Scenario Analysis. The only thing you worry about is, will the horse be equipped to stretch out in its next start? And it's not the same, these turnbacks and stretch out, when you have first time starting 2-year-olds in turf races, because sometimes it's just a logical progression in a similar way that dirt racing is, but you still have to worry whether this horse will be effective. But I'll tell you one thing, Scenario Analysis should have the lead in a mile turf race at Aqueduct.
That's always a good thing to have over there, and especially when we'll see how the course is playing. But, a horse that ran this well going short, you got to think will do okay going long if she's able to control the pace. One more race to bring you on this first segment. We'll take a look at Reading Group from Thursday. This is race number 8.
Yeah, Reading Group's a funny horse that sort of gets in trouble a lot of the trip. And, I think that Cornelio Velasquez, who rode this horse, has been riding very well. I don't think it was a bad ride. I think he was trying to get him into a position, and Reading Group has already been shuffled back to last. And you'll watch, and you'll basically see him getting in trouble. I think that the biggest problem he had was that he was interfered with in the stretch. I don't know if in a legal fashion, but he was interfered with.
He was interfered with in the stretch. Gets into a couple blind switches, I think, around the turn, which kind of might have prevented him, I think, from moving forward and getting some better position, getting a better striking position coming to the top of the stretch. But you see Reading Group still last year on the picture, and Reading Group's going to steady a little bit as they move toward the turn here, and Cornelio Velasquez is going to have to try to find some room to go, and he's going to elect not to go wide, try to save some ground, which isn't a bad thing in terms of wanting to have some more left for the finish, but you get yourself into some trouble that way.
Yeah, I think he did the right thing. This was an evenly run race in the sense that Smooth Transition was second, was well back in the pack right now and moved up. The first and third finishers were near the lead, so it wasn't a race that he was hampered by dynamics. I think Cornelio did the right thing between horses. If he had gotten a clear seam to go through in the stretch, I think he very well might have won this race. So I just think it was an unfortunate incident. The question is, now for me, this was a big improvement for Reading Group, who had run okay in Saratoga, but this was a lot better than his prior efforts.
I agree, and we'll see here that the trouble is still brewing for Reading Group's got basically surrounded by horses, one on each flank, a few horses in front, so it's not going to be easy to try to find any clear seam through the stretch. Eventually, there's a small time where he might have a chance to punch through, but then that hole closes up, as you see right there, and now he's just kind of in between horses, just looking for a way through.
The gray horse is the horse that caused the problem. The winner inherit the gold. He drifts in, he drifts out, and he's doing the kind of move I used to do when I play Gallop Racer and I'm trying to beat a horse. He just keeps drifting in and out in front of this horse, and by the time Reading Group has a chance to get clear, and you'll see it in the head-on, it's just super, super late. Here's Reading Group on the inside in the turn. You can see him have more trouble, but to me, what you want to watch, and just roll this, is the trouble that he has. I don't mind the steadying. Horses are steadying. He's just getting position. I feel that he never had a clear path to run through in the stretch, and he also never had one outside of horses. No,
he didn't either. And as you're saying, this probably wasn't a bad move by Cornelio, because if you're going to go wide, you're going to hang yourself up 5 or 6 wide around the turn here. Instead, he's saving some ground. If things break his way and it gets a little bit lucky in the stretch and has somewhat of a seam to run through, then it's a whole other story. Then it's a great ride. But in this case here, where he's just kind of just blocked by horses the whole way through, it doesn't turn out so well.
Yeah, I mean, there he is right behind the gray horse, and you can see it. And now the gray horse goes out, and he has some room. And now the gray horse comes in, and he has no room. Now he tries to go outside of him, and the gray horse comes out again. I mean, he's doing the old Gallop Racer move. He's drifting out again with him. I don't say it's illegal by Inherit the Gold, and this is right at the finish when he gets the clear run. Just sort of a horse that I don't know where to go with Reading Group. Be in a similar spot next time. I guess he had some trouble and could have won. I'm not saying I'm going to love him next time. Just keep the trip in mind.
All right, well, that'll do it for our first segment here on Trips and Traps. And keep in mind, we do love to hear your emails and concerns and wishes that we show on the show. So keep your emails coming, tripsandtraps@NYRAnk.com.
Stick around for the second segment.